Speaking of articulation, how about the bounce in those curls?
No. Hey guys, y'all know what it be. Back on Toy Lips, we are taking a look at this X-Men series, Excalibur 4-pack. First, I want to thank you guys for showing your support by being here, and direct you to check me out on Instagram and Twitter, where you can see pictures and rants and all kinds of nonsense in this vein. And of course, subscribe to this channel as we tear into this box.
You guys know what to expect here. Characters prominently displayed. Some of this same card art on the sides that we see in full display on the back, replicating the old Marvel trading cards. Pretty good stuff, though.
So this set contains the bulk of the late 80s Team Excalibur, formed when the mainline X-Men were thought dead. Featuring several former members of the X-Men, including Shadowcat, Lockheed, Nightcrawler, and Rachel Summers, the second iteration of Phoenix, along with Captain Britain and another Alan Moore creation, Megan. So, is this set a competent take on some X-Universe favorites, or just a pale imitation of the real thing? Let's find out. Megan Puceanu, known simply as Megan, is an empathic metamorph as well as an elemental. She is a founding member of Excalibur, and though this is her most iconic look, it is not her original look for the team. This is another case of them giving you slightly different versions of the costumes so that you can't build the one like era-specific team, you know? You're still kind of waiting for more costumes and things like that. And you know what? That annoys some people, but I'm here for that all day. I would buy another one in the orange jumpsuit.
Getting into the figure itself, it is pretty simple. It is this Thunder Thighs female buck here. Shoeless, which you don't see all the time. But sadly, it is the single jointed elbows, and we've got pins on the legs. The face sculpt, I think, looks pretty nice. I mean, she's a little, but those eyes are painted pretty well. She's got the big hair that she is known for. Sadly, though, it is a big, solid piece, and it's of course difficult to stand. More so than, okay, not as much, say, on the feet department, because she doesn't have like heels like you see sometimes, but she's got this great big hair piece that sort of offsets that. And you know what? There she is standing. It's fine. She's fine. But you guys know the score if you've been here before. Otherwise, this is just painted on and a little sloppy on the line work in some places. What are you going to do? Other places, it is very crisp, like right here across the hands. A little bit across the back. And that looks nice and clean in the part where you're never going to see it. Coming down here, you can see they missed the mark with the lines. Going down there, if we twist these all the way out. This is pretty well done overall, I think, the line work here. Yeah, just a little shoddy right there on top. But otherwise, you can see this little bit of green painted in here, and even some black outline. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Not mad about that at all. And with this version of the costume, there really isn't much else to it. So it's simple but effective. No wash or anything in the hair, but it is so big and bold, it kind of creates its own highlights. And you know what? There might be a lighter color in there. Huh. I think aesthetically she's hitting just right.
Freakishly overpowered, but often overlooked, as Captain Britain, Brian Braddock has superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability, reflexes, senses, and flight. But he's got to believe in himself. He is also a member of the multiversal Captain Britain Corps, defenders of all reality, empowered by the sorcerer Merlin. Yes, that Merlin.
This is not his original look, but it is his first look as a founding member of Excalibur. However, it's still not the look that's depicted on the box art. Strange choice there. I would accept either one. Another strange choice. Sorry, mind the hands. Again, I'm a steel erector, and we are erecting a new building. I promise, I scrubbed these things, pumice stone them. I've had 2 showers since we finished work on Friday. My God. What do you do, right? He is on the Hyperion body mold, which is, it's not perfect. A little bulkier, maybe, would be cool for this character. Perhaps a larger upper body would be... It's just something about the way that this is put together. It's just a little outmoded, I think. It's serviceable for the character. He stands big and bold. But there are a couple of inconsistencies just with how the costume should be portrayed, in addition to other aesthetic issues, such as the red pins showing through on the blue side. You know, we used to say, hey, man, make a two-colored pin. But how about just do away with them? Do away with them. Getting right into that face, you can see the line work is a little blurry, and they run past in some spots here. It's not bad though for what they're trying to achieve. This is what am I saying? Look, it's running and it's blurry, and they're missing. You're missing. I know we're mostly looking at these from a distance, man, but don't take it for granted. I mean, this head isn't even quite there anyway. It's a little more of like a helmeted look. And interestingly, that last Captain Britain figure they gave us has just that. They should have just repainted that head and put it on this. The line work in the X here is a little fuzzy. The old Union Jack he's draped himself in. They got some blue on my red. The red, white, and blue coloration, so he does really pop. I do enjoy that. Blurry line work notwithstanding. All this white is really clean. He's got these nice gloves going. Vascular fists. Sure. The boots, and the other issue is the boots maybe should be a little higher. But otherwise, the best classic-looking Captain Britain in this scale thus far. Alright, now my favorite character and figure from the set. Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat, a mutant with the ability to phase through solid objects. They call it phasing. It's actually a form of quantum tunneling. How about that? At this point, Kitty is a full-fledged former X-Man. X-woman? X-person. See, when you say X-person, though, then it sounds like it could apply to any of these X teams. Founding member of Excalibur. How dare they let her think they were dead? It was her family. It hurts me a little. Anyway, you're doing great, kitten. Holding up well. This particular costume, this is sort of her most iconic look. Reusing parts as they did. It's not as billowy here in the midsection, say. It's just this sort of standard smaller female torso. Otherwise, though, I think this looks fine. It's mostly represented as the blouse with the billowing sleeves, and even some sculpting here. And this open collar, she's got her mask on. It is just painted. The face looks very nice. Clean separations. It's just like different colors of plastic, though, so there's not necessarily a lot of painting to worry about. Just that head. And I think otherwise this is pretty effective. It's symmetrical on both sides, so maybe that's not a miss. Sure it is. She got some lipstick on her teeth. Hey, maybe she did that herself. I think the sculpt of the figure, though, is pretty nice. I am satisfied with that. Instantly recognizable as Shadowcat. Finally, the set features tiny alien dragon friend Lockheed. Longtime companion of Kitty Pryde, Lockheed first appeared during the Brood arc back in the 80s. And it's really cool to get another representation of this character. With the little tail specially built to sort of hook around the neck so you could perch on the shoulder. Really good detailing on this even. And look at that eye is painted. All these ridges in the neck and a tiny little mouth. There's like a little black wash in it. I would hate to classify him an accessory. He is his own person, his own character. It's just fine. Stand courtesy of Headpool. Thanks, Headpool. Swooping back around to check out that articulation, we have Megan here. And there's not going to be a whole lot new or different with any of these characters in that department. As well as some of the common frustrations. Her head is on this ball joint, hinged, but you're not going to get any of that hinge that way because of this monstrous hairpiece. But you will be able to come down like this, making her look real creep. But you do that and you're going to have the hair doing like that. You know what I mean? Some good, decent tilt side to side, but it's all hairpiece dependent once again. Shoulders are on a ball joint here, and they will come out and all the way around. Single jointed elbows. You don't have a visible pin there, which is nice, but it's a single joint, which is not so nice. Hinge at the wrist, back and forward pretty well, pretty well. She's got this diaphragm cut, which is standard. We'll come forward some, back a little. Again, you have to work with the constraints of the hairpiece, but it does pivot a decent amount. Nothing crazy. Again, no waist cut on the female figures. What is happening? What is happening? And these thunder thighs here, they don't quite come up, or really at all, that way. They will come out to the front and back a bit. Upper thigh cut. Double jointed knee with visible pins. Comes up about that far. Muscles. She could be shaped any way she chooses. She could even sport some fur if she wanted. Down here at the ankles, though, you're going to come back and they're going to come forward, and you're going to have great rocker. Ta-da! Brian. Getting real tired of you ducking me, man. Moving on to Captain Britain, the best and worst of them all. That old Hyperion body mold. It's going to have that head lean back this far for flight poses. That's actually pretty great. Looks way down. You got some tilt here because it's common. They're just up too high on the neck pegs in a lot of the cases. Seems okay. Shoulders sticking out too far on these ball joints, but they're going to come all the way around, come up this far. Bicep cut. Double jointed elbow. Visible pins. Glove in the way. Won't let you come past here. Nice hinge at the wrist. Standard ab crunch. This far forward. This far back. And a waist twist. The articulation on this figure is nice, you know what I mean, but it's just this crusty old body. It's like, come on now. Come on now. You're going to come out to the side with the leg there. Forward this far. Back a little ways. Not too much. Upper thigh cut. Right there. Blends right in. Break it up. It's great. It's great. Double jointed knee. Comes back a decent amount here. And a calf cut right there at the, well, mid boot, if you will. Ankles. Yeah. Always the best part, man. You can't mess with them on these. Articulates really solidly. Finna be some articulation on this cat. Taking a look, getting up close. Going to be similar to Megan in that we have all of these, the cheapo female articulation, including the restricted head tilt because of the sweet hair. But if we had a toy of Fabio from Hasbro, you can bet it would be the same. She can look down a bit, though. A little bit of tilt, maybe more so to the one side, if you see what I'm getting at there. Yes. Shoulders, ball jointed, come way up, in fact, without even twisting them around, which they will do. What Hasbro does do is let you decide for yourself what you will do. Single jointed elbows. So they do have that clean, pinless look. And honestly, the sculpt of the blouse would get in the way regardless. Yeah, double joint. Double joints all day, bro. Bicep cut. Break up the sculpt. Who cares? You get the wrist hinges. And they do hinge really well. Got that going for you. And then we have this nice diaphragm cut up here. Swing that arm out of the way so we can see what's really going on. A whole lot of nothing. You really get nothing forward to speak of. She'll kick back just a little bit. Again, she's just fully erect here. This is hardly any movement on that. A little bit of side to side. More of that than anything else. And, combined with the lack of a waist cut, it's pretty abysmal. Especially considering Katya here is like a freaking ninja. Down here at the thighs, you're still going to be restricted even with the smaller female body. Not much there, but it will kick. She can kick straight out. And, back that little bit. Upper thigh cut. That'll twist all the way around. We'll give you one of those. We'll twist it around. No one needs to. You understand how these work, right? Double jointed knee. I know, but you're here watching it. So what am I showing you if I'm just buzzing through or skipping the articulation? Visible pin still. Shame. But we do have this nice calf cut hidden perfectly in the boot. Speaking of boots, down to the ankles, kicking way back, forward. Look at that. Will you just look at it? That's fantastic down there. So she can get into these really deep stances, you know what I mean? So the legs are pretty good to go. It's just all of the rest of this needs a lot of work. Especially too, if this was like newly sculpted and whatever, man, you could have gone crazy. You could have gone crazy, but you just sat there timidly instead. So it's like she does everything you'd expect at a glance, but not everything that you'd want, you know?
All right, for accessories, everybody comes with an extra pair of hands, and Brian comes with that extra bearded head from that time when he was bearded and extra. He also comes with the legendary sword Excalibur, but otherwise, you know, pretty light, man, pretty light. I like the display options there, but for Megan, you could have some swappable furry parts or something, or some energy effects, stuff like that, just to display her powers as a metamorph. It could be whatever, you know. Maybe an extra head with a different hairstyle for Kitty. Honestly, at $23 a figure now, you're getting a little price break on the 3-packs, but that wasn't the case before. In most cases, it seems they charge you exactly the same or even a little more for a multi-pack. When you would think maybe a little less packaging, they could cut you a deal, they could cut you a little break on it. At least just pack them with accessories, you know what I mean? You have this larger box to work with. Instead, it's like an afterthought. They're like, well, if we put a bunch of this stuff in there across 3 figures, maybe they won't notice that it's real minimal for each. I don't know. I'm not unhappy with any of the stuff here, but more! Or how about an alternate head for Brian that's the more helmeted look instead of the bearded thing that I don't really have any attachment to? I know, that's somebody's favorite look. Brian doesn't need that sword, but it is nice to see it. I would have, however, accepted a sword for Kitty, or even just a hand to hold one. I don't know if I have like a blue gripping hand somewhere. They're like, bruh, you got an entire extra character. Megan stands about 6 3/8 of an inch tall. As ever in my comparisons, I try to put a focus on relevancy. However, Megan is most relevant next to other Excalibur characters. But in real life, I just recently reviewed Mr. Johnny Storm, so there he is, as well as Dr. Doom. And what do you know, he wants to stand up for this one. How about period-specific X characters, the Dazzler and Skull Crusher? Centurions! Bringing back Brian, we can see that he stands about 7 inches tall. He's got a big one, you know that. And here we have Captain Britain next to Captain America and his sister Psylocke. Sister in spirit, Betsy there is, of course, in the body of Kwanon. Comic book continuity. Good times. And here he is next to the unstoppable Juggernaut and the mighty Thor. What's his adjective? The crusty Captain Britain. Old tired body. And then standing about 5 7/8 of an inch tall, my favorite breed of cat, the Shadow Cat. How tall that dragon be? He like an inch. And first up, because I've been waiting a long time to put these characters together, here she is with Nightcrawler and Colossus. That's outstanding. That's what this is for me, man. Standing them all next to each other, staring real hard at them, letting my chest swell up. I can't wait till I'm old enough to feel ways about stuff. And for more period-specific love, here she is with Storm and Wolverine. And here she is next to her counterpart from the doomed Age of Apocalypse timeline. And her dear friend Illyana Rasputin, who just had a really bad childhood. But she got a free dragon out of the deal. In the final breakdown of the Excalibur 4-pack, we've got 3 characters in versions we didn't have before, and 1 wholly new character. It's another case where the costumes don't exactly match, and in some cases aren't depicted with the attention to detail they deserve. Megan is brand new, with a simple but effective design showcasing her most iconic look. The paint is pretty clean, and she is easily recognizable. However, the articulation is lacking, and she still sports visible pins. 3.5 out of 5. For Captain Britain, this is the definitive look, but not the definitive version of this character. He looks alright at a distance, the colors really pop, and he does feature the most accessories, including an extra head. However, neither of the heads are quite right, and he's on that damned Hyperion body mold. Also a 3.5. As for Kitty, I think she looks great. This is my most anticipated figure. They have pretty much nailed her most iconic look. The paint is clean, the blues are nice, the smaller sculpt is very fitting. But I would like to see pinless joints, more accessories, and more articulation. She is practically a friggin' ninja, trained by Wolverine. I love her. 4.5 out of 5, if we count Lockheed as part of her kit. He is very nicely detailed, has a couple of extra paint colors, and is able to sit on people's shoulders. But he's got no accessories and no articulation. 2 out of 5. I'm kidding. But I do love this set. It is lacking in accessories overall, but these figures are instantly recognizable and fairly nicely detailed. I wish they were all pinless and all had the most modern niceties, but Hasbro often does bare minimum to maximize profits. But at $23 each, this set could have easily been closer to $70. Don't give them any ideas! I am not disappointed in my purchase and am stoked to have my Shadowcat. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and follow Toy Lips on Twitter and Instagram. I will catch you lip lickers later. Thanks.
I got fingers on my lips. Toys that I'm touching, I don't want to put them down. I still don't want to talk about them. Yes, fresh. Smell the plastic that I crave. I want to shop. I can't be having Bruce Banner. I'm Dr. Rubber Band on Bruce Jenner. And you can call me Dr. Jenner. We can talk comic books, but we're here to talk toys. Be proud, make noise.